In this clip, we're going to set up a very simple loan program. Assume that we're a college student and we've just graduated and we need to borrow some money for buying a car so we can start up our first job. We approach our grandmother and she says that she'll loan us $10,000 to buy a car. So I'll put in my $10,000. I'm going to format this. Get rid of the 2 decimal places. She says that we can pay that back in 4 years, and we're going to make some payments every year, or we'll just make one payment a year, and the rate of our loan is 0%. She's not going to charge us any interest. So we've got a number of payments which is going to equal the 4 years times the 1 payment per year. We're going to make a periodic payment. In this case, it's going to just equal the amount of money that we borrow, and we'll divide that through by the number of payments. So therefore, the total paid would equal the periodic payment, a check for $2,500 every year for the next 4 years. And the total interest that we pay on this is just equal to the total amount that we pay minus the amount of money that we borrow. So in other words, we're not paying any interest. Our total interest is 0, and it just shows as a dash because that's the way it's formatted to set it up like that. So I'm going to continue on with my loan, and we've got what's called an amortized loan. In other words, we're going to make 4 equal payments of $2,500 each for the next 4 years and pay off our loan. So I've got the payment number, the payment amount, the interest that I'll pay on that, the amount that I pay on the principal of my loan, in other words, to pay off the $10,000, and finally, the loan balance. So we'll start out with payment number 0, meaning right now. The payment amount is equal to 0, the interest is 0, the principal is 0, and my balance is equal to the amount of money that we borrow in the first place, so $10,000. Next, I'm going to make payment number 1. Now I could just type in a 1 here, but instead what I want to do is I want to reference the previous cell, payment 0, and add 1 to it. The reason I do that is that way if I copy my formula down, I get the next 4 payments. The payment amount in this case is going to equal $2,500. Now I want to use either a mixed or an absolute reference on that because every time it's always going to be cell E2. So I'm going to hit function F4, and actually all I really need is the $sign in front of the 2 because it's always going to lock in row 2. So I'll just make it E2, $2, excuse me, and then I will copy this down. So I can just double click on the fill handle. It will copy it down as long as I've got payments here on the left hand side. So we'll double click, and we've got 25, 25, 25. So at the end, here's my total. I want to put that in one cell beneath. I'm going to use the sum formula, so equal sum, and sum up everything from this blank cell all the way up to periodic, or the payment amount, and we've got $10,000. My interest is, well, I'm paying 0%, but the way we calculate out the interest is we're going to take the balance from the previous period, in this case period 0, I'm going to multiply that by my interest rate, but I always want to use that interest rate, so put a $sign in front of the 4. I'm going to divide that by the payments per year. That way if it's a monthly interest rate, it's always going to divide by 12. If it's a quarterly interest rate, it'll divide by 4. If it's, in this case, an annual interest rate, we divide by 1. Type in a parenthesis, and we get 0. So let's format some of these cells here. Use our $ format. And actually, let's leave the cents in on this one. The principal then is equal to 2,500 minus the interest rate. So when we write out a check or somehow, give grandma $2,500 in cash, all of it is going towards the principal of the loan. So therefore my new balance is equal to the previous period's balance, E7, minus the amount of principal that we pay off. So I'm down to 7,500. So if I get a raise at work or something, I just want to pay off the loan, I would pay a total of $7,500 at this point. So let's take these formulas, highlight them, double click on the fill handle to copy them down to payment number 4. And after 4 years, you can see our balance is down to 0. So if I copy the sum formula for the interest and principal, we see that we paid a total of $10,000. None of it went towards interest. Our principal is exactly $10,000. Don't sum up the balance because this $25,000 really doesn't tell you anything at all because this already is a cumulative balance. So you don't want to sum up that. So we're just about done with our loan. I'm going to save this. If we have, say, 4 monthly payments and make this 12 and have to extend this out for 48 payments, what I want to do is I want to use freeze panes on this. So I'm going to go to View, Freeze Panes, and Freeze Panes. Then I'd insert another, let's see, I need another 44 payments. So I insert 44 rows, right click on that, choose Insert, take my payments, copy them down for all those cells that I just inserted this. I don't want to go past the totals, I don't want to go past that blank cell. Hit enter, and just like that we've got, starting from payment 0 all the way down to payment number 48, we'd pay off our $10,000, everything looks good, our balance is equal to 0, and we've got our loan paid off. So it's fairly easy to set up a 0% loan. We'll hit Control Home to get back up to cell A7 where we froze the panes. We'd probably set up the page layout, put in our headers and footers, and we're done with this loan. So save your work, and that's it.